Well, we have one common feature. Both you
Hmm.
and I, we are looking for pain points for
Yes,
our customers and try to find a solution to alleviate it or even better, eliminate altogether. So
absolutely.
today I will talk about the pain points which 1.5 billion people in the world have. That is the
Hmm.
number of people who are learning English as the global language.
Yes.
And the pain is which they suffer is tremendous because in spite of their time, effort, money, and everything, they have great difficulties to become fluent in English. And the situation
Hmm.
with English proficiency in the world is at a very in a very bad shape. I'll give you a few numbers. In there is a company in Netherlands, English First, and they do measure English proficiency for the last 17 or about 20 years. The
Okay.
2022 English Proficiency Index ranked China number 62. It's a low
Hmm.
proficiency nation and down from a moderate proficiency rank of 49 in 2021 and 38 in 2020. The situation in Japan is even much worse. Today, they're ranked number 80. Japan
Hmm.
is in the list of industrial countries number one. But in the list of English proficiency countries, it's number 80.
Hmm.
More, what is actually more troubling, that in 2020 rank was 55, in 21 it's 78, and in 22 it's 80. The higher
Hmm.
the number, the lower is English proficiency. There is a reason for it. Language industry is in a very bad shape in the world
Yes.
because, in my opinion, we use a wrong method. I
Hmm.
will explain to you it and demonstrate it. But before I do it, I have a couple of questions just to show you if you have misconceptions. So, my
Sure.
first question is, in which language do you think? It is inaccurate. It's wrong. You do not think in English, and that's where all our problems start.
Hmm.
You think in the language of thoughts,
Right.
which consists of symbols, feelings, and this language of thought is the only language which we have for thinking. And when you are dreaming, you use that language. And that's why
Hmm.
when you try to say something in your dream, you wake up because there is no words. You cannot verbalize them. So you do not think in the native language. Why everybody, 100% of people say it? Because the language of thoughts, that is symbols and feelings, they are wired in our subconscious, in our brain, to
Hmm.
the words of your native language.
Right.
That's why it looks to everybody, it creates illusion that we think in native language. We do not. That's why uh, that's why what people do, they are continue to think in the native language when trying to learn a foreign language, and that will not work.
Hmm.
The next question, do you understand that cross translation, that is when you, by the way, do you speak any foreign language?
Spanish. Yes.
Okay. When you learn Spanish, Do you remember that you were thinking still in English and tried to learn Spanish, correct?
Yes. Hmm.
Some can overcome it. It depends on the actual level of your visualization capabilities.
Hmm.
Most people, 95%, cannot. So
Hmm.
cross translation in your head is the main barrier to acquire fluency in a
Yes,
foreign language, and you know
definitely.
about it. Now, can we stop cross translation by giving advice? Do not cross translation in your head? No, because it's ingrained, innate habit. Children learn any language subconsciously, right?
Hmm.
Native speakers, they speak subconsciously, right?
Hmm.
Why do you think that adults can learn a language consciously?
Yeah.
It's not possible. Learning a language, by the way, before I give you a definition, what is learning a language in my approach? What is your understanding? Does it mean to learn a language, a foreign language?
It means to be able to communicate in that language, to
Yeah,
speak
but
it
how
and read
do
it.
you
Mhm.
learn a foreign language?
How? Practice. YouTube.
Yeah, you are smart. You give answers which are nearly correct. Learning a language by any teacher who will answer this question will tell you that you have to learn vocabulary, you have to learn grammar rules, you have to learn how to read, how to listen, how, and all those skills are done separately. That's why we
Hmm.
cannot learn a foreign language according to the advice of most teachers today.
Hmm.
I give a completely different definition of what does it mean to learn a language.
Hmm.
Learning a language is wiring the known symbols of your language of thoughts with unknown words in a target language directly without cross translation.
Hmm.
Can we do it?
We can. It takes a
No,
lot of practice.
no. We cannot.
No.
You can
Okay.
do it only if you are familiar with my patent, because I
Hmm.
patented this approach. There is
Okay.
no method, there is no article in the world except thousands of references on internet which belong to me, which will explain you how you can wire directly, because to wire
Hmm.
directly symbols to the word of the target language, you need to use subconscious training. And what does it mean? What is conscious? What is subconscious? Are you aware about those two different minds?
I am, yes.
How you think, what is the ratio between conscious and subconscious activity in your daily activity? What is the ratio?
Probably 95% subconscious and 5% conscious.
You are pretty close. Yeah, mostly educators say 90% subconscious,
Yeah.
about 10% conscious. So then subconscious is a very powerful way to learn. And I will like to explain you how and we can introduce subconscious training.
Hmm.
Before I will ask you, in when you do conscious learning, are you capable to do multitasking?
Um, no, I'm not. I'm not a multitasker.
No, it is not possible. That's absolutely right. We can do only one or two tasks maximum.
Yep.
So the difference between conscious and subconscious training is that in subconscious training, the multitasking is unlimited.
Hmm.
And I have made that discovery because I worked as a simultaneous, one of my professions is simultaneous interpreter. And I worked for many years there, and I made all those discoveries while working.
Hmm.
Being a scientist and doing simultaneous interpretation, I've discovered that if you do three actions at the same time, you are reading, listening, and speaking. You activate your subconscious automatically.
Hmm.
So if you do three actions at the same time, only then you can activate subconscious automatically because multitasking is possible only in subconscious mode of mind operation.
Okay.
Now, uh, now I would like to show you the application
Okay.
which will demonstrate to you how subconscious training in English skills can be done. And
Sure.
consider it only as a prototype. It's
Okay.
not a final product, first of all, because it was created a few years ago. And
Hmm.
secondly, because it does not incorporate all patented features.
Hmm.
And if we decide to do something together, then we should create a new real application. What is interesting that nowadays we have programs or a way approach when we create an application in one language, for example, Flutter, and it can be then introduced into any operating system, into iOS, Android, web application, etc.,
Hmm.
etc., etc. So it is not very difficult. And now I will show you how we can use that application. Let me share my screen.
Okay. I see the language bridge technology.
Okay, so this is the application which now exists, and it was used actually by thousands and thousands of people already. You can download it from Google Play Store and play with it. And
Okay.
here is the first display. So Language Bridge Technology is the name of my company, introduces subconscious training in English skills that is 5-7 times faster than conscious learning. And
Okay.
when you will see how the application is functioning, you will understand why I give this value on the first display. When you
Yep.
click on this display, we open the application. And here you see how it looks. It contains 31 lessons,
Okay.
and we will select lesson 10 for the demonstration. When I click on it, you will see something very unusual to you. I will give a few words and then I will click on it. First of all, you should understand that, of course, this application is done for self learning, for self training, and that's why everything is included in it. Of course, you need a teacher. Teachers are necessary, but only those teachers who are familiar with this approach. And I can easily train those teachers in a few sessions online. For
Okay.
example, if you click on this button,
The language bridge technology application starts with a words cloud and relaxing music, which activate left and right brain and facilitate subconscious learning. Words on the screen are randomly selected from the text of the current lesson. You can watch the words and listen to the music for about 60 seconds before the next drill starts.
I wouldn't show you everything on just to save time, but you
Mm-hmm.
understand that if I click on this lesson, you see words which are appear on the display randomly, taken from the lesson 10.
Mm-hmm.
What happens here is that your subconscious looks at those words and remembers them subconsciously.
Right.
So when you will see them in the text, you will have a feeling that you met those words, you know them. It's preparing a retention without remembering.
Mm-hmm.
This is for about 60 seconds, and then we go to the drill one. Drill one here shows you that the support in any language can be provided here. The first drill is support in Chinese, but if we need to have a support in Spanish or any other language, I will show you how to do it later. If you click on this button, it explains.
Drill 1. Read the text in your native language without pronouncing the words and try to visualize the story given.
That's why if your language is not Mandarin, you click the next and we go to the next drill.
Mm-hmm.
Drill 2. Repeat aloud the recorded text using headphones and speaking simultaneously with the speaker with a delay of 1 or 2 words and without stopping the tape. While doing this, follow the English text with your eyes and imagine that you are participating in the situation. Don't pay attention to the details.
So we click on this button and we do 3 actions at the same time. I will demonstrate to you.
Lesson 10.
Lesson 10,
Word
body.
The
The human body is an instrument for the production of art in the life of the human soul. Alfred North Whitehead.
Your body
can do more things than you may think it can.
Just think
how many functions your body performs without your being aware of them.
Mm-hmm.
A body
has its own pharmacy, which produces many chemicals that are used for different purposes. I stopped it and I would like just to show you the text here and explain to you that when you do 3 actions at the same time, imagine that you are a Chinese, Japanese, Spanish, or any other adult nationality adult, and you are learning English. When you do 3 actions at the same time, your ability to think in the native language is stopped automatically. It's not possible.
Right.
And that's why when you do those three actions first, you acquire the ability to read, you acquire the ability to listen, you acquire the ability to speak, you acquire the ability for right pronunciation because you use always headset, you hear is well inside of your head, and you do not analyze. You have no way to
Mhm.
analyze because you are
Y-
in a subconscious mode.
Right.
So you do those three actions and you acquire the language.
Yep.
After multiple repetitions, you will talk by those chunks because those chunks are the main tool which we use when we speak, because we speak
Hmm.
by, you understand, it's patterns, by chunks of language, and you will be able to use them. And
Okay.
that also ensures direct wiring of your language of thought with
Hmm.
those words directly, because you have read that text in Spanish.
Right.
And uh,
So most of the Spanish I learned was from watching music videos with the
it's
subtitles.
yeah, it's Bo. It's because you belong to a lucky 5% of people. Those 5% of people can learn a language by any method. Okay,
Hmm.
95% cannot. First of all, in conscious learning, let me remind you that in conscious learning, there is a polling forgetting curve. There is a cross translation problem. And there's when you try to speak consciously, you have a recall, very slow recall. But to communicate, you have to create 3 words per second. It's not possible. That's why conscious learning is obstacle. It's not
Yep.
possible to learn for most people. Some people learn, but most people have great difficulties. It's a big pain, and we need to eliminate this pain. Now, if you will,
I don't want to cut you short, Arcady, but we only got I have like 6 minutes left. So I would love to talk. I understand the concept. I would love to know where you are with the system. Are you selling it to language learning schools or traditional schools, or, kind of what is your strategy for going to market?
1 second. Okay, then let's stop sharing. Bob, my strategy is to find a person or an entity or a company
Hmm.
which understands the potential of those two patents and intellectual property, which is 70 articles, 2 ebooks, thousands of articles, and blah, 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 and to give intellectual property free and to bring it to the market. I am in the exit stage. I'm retiring, but I want to give it for free to a person or company who understand it and will bring
Hmm.
it with my help. We can
Hmm.
sign a contract. So I am not looking to create or help me to sell it or do. My only objective is to find an entity that understands the great potential of this invention and that is willing to disrupt the language industry. If you can
Hmm.
help me to find such an entity, or if you will go and learn more about what I have sent and what I have in my landing page, which I've sent to you, or just reading my ebooks, articles, and understand that you want to participate in the language industry, one of the
Mm-hmm.
largest industries in the world,
Mm-hmm.
1.5 billion customers. That is my purpose. My purpose is not to improve, to create a new one, to sell or anything else. My purpose is to find a godfather which will take my free gift and bring it to the world.
That's great. I work with a language school. They actually teach Chinese. So they're in Taiwan, and they're growing very fast. And so they teach Chinese the other way around. They teach Chinese to English speakers, specifically engineers who speak English but work with Chinese colleagues. That doesn't mean that they couldn't teach the other way around too, teach English to Chinese speakers. But I definitely think I know you are really onto something. I've experienced what you're talking about. I think a lot of the language that I learned was done subconsciously. It was just experiences that I had while I was in Spanish speaking countries where I wasn't necessarily interacting with people, but people were having conversations in Spanish. And for some reason, it landed in my subconscious brain. And you can kind of remember that. Anyway, what I'll do is I'll speak with them. I speak with them every week on Thursdays. And so when I talk with them next Thursday, I'll ask them if they would like to try this out with some of their students and show them, the article that you shared with me and see if they'd like to try it out because they have an audience. I mean, they already have people who are learning a language and they're actively teaching. So we can start there. How does that sound?
Uh, uh, in general, it sounds great. However, it should
Mm-hmm.
not be done this way.
Okay.
Because if you will just show an article, you say, I sent you an article. Do you know that it's article number 71? So what about the previous 70 articles? It's nonsense to show this article because they wouldn't understand anything. You will not understand it. And that's why when I ask you, and I understand how busy you are, but if you remember, I asked you for 1 hour to explain it, to demonstrate. You haven't seen all the features of it, all possibilities, and how to create lessons, how to do testing, and blah, 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 blah. So what I recommend is to send them the landing page. You know what is landing page?
Mm-hmm.
It's where all my do you know what my landing page? I think I have sent you in your in my I will send it to you again in the LinkedIn, and ask them if they are interested to learn more about them. Then we have to organize again a demonstration online. Without
Okay.
learning from me the fundamentals, nobody will understand it. Bo,
Mm-hmm.
I talked to CEOs of all major language companies.
Mm-hmm.
Only one of them was honest, the Rosetta Stone. CEO told me, I understand you. Unfortunately, I cannot do it because I am CEO and I cannot tell now that my company was wrong and you are right and you
Yeah,
have to
right.
change everything. He was
Well,
only
that's
one who was honest. And now Rosetta Stone practically does not exist. It's out of business. It's not a language company anymore. It's a reading
mm-hmm.
company. So I
Mm-hmm.
talk to anybody and they do not understand it. Keep in mind that it is extremely difficult because a language specialist, they do not understand what is subconscious. You must be multifaceted. You must be open minded. You must be a spiritual guide and guide a spiritual person. There are so many actual hidden requirements to understand it. However, if you do it, you can change the world.
Right, and that's exactly my point. Is I understand it's going to take. I don't fully understand how it works. What I do understand is the results. That's really what people want to see at the end of the day. They want to see that this is a method that is going to advance the time it takes to learn a language, and I would love to see that in practice. That is what I'm trying to how I can help you, right? And the theory behind it I don't doubt that it's sound and that it works, but it's the results that are going to make
You
people
can
want
read
to.
testimonials. There is a lot of testimonials on my website and
Right.
see what the educators are saying about it,
Mm-hmm.
who tried it as a pilot project. But
Mm-hmm.
nobody implemented it because to implement it, you have to have a very
Undo.
great power.
Exactly. You have to undo the entire establishment of
And you have to
learning
undo
in your department.
the language
Mm-hmm.
industry. You have to
And
disrupt it.
that's what I'm saying is why don't we find people who don't have to disrupt as much? There's so many English teachers, right, all over the world, and if we could find some who are open to implementing this method, we can prove that it works more effectively, right? You can
Yes,
get empirical evidence that
yes.
says, these people are on the traditional path of learning. These were on the subconscious model. The subconscious model performed 5 times better, whatever it is. And so I think by introducing it to language schools who are open to that, that's the best way to get it started. Because trying to, like you said, trying to disrupt an industry that's been teaching this way for, decades, if not hundreds of years, is going to be hard without a lot of, without a lot of evidence. So I'm happy to, introduce it to some teachers that I know who teach English in different countries and see if they want to implement it. If that's what you want to do, I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, that would be great. I have shown you this landing page. I have sent it to you in my first, but I can send it to you again. So here, what is great here, and why I call landing page, that here you have access to my website, my LinkedIn profile, to my ebook, to my YouTube channel, to 20 articles on e-learning industry, Facebook, Twitter, and even to the application on the Google Play Store. Here, click on it and you download it. So everything is on one page. I will send it to you. So you explain, just look at this, click on any uh, bar here, check it, and if you are interested in it and find it interesting, because it's not a matter of one article, or even it's not a matter, here's a whole book, which you can read here, which you can read on view, and you can read the whole book here on and it has 98 pages, okay? And here are all the chapters and content and everything. So they will have a good understanding what it's about. And then reading it, then we have to organize a demonstration. Without demonstration, still they would have difficulties to understand what I am doing, because
Mm-hmm.
it actually combines so many different, absolutely different techniques and methods, from conscious, subconscious, from the our reaction, from how we learn and how we do testing, how we create our lessons, and many, many other things. I will demonstrate it in 1 hour, I promise.
Okay, I'll take a
Then
look.
they will be interested definitely, because nowadays,
Absolutely.
especially in, since you are saying it's in Taiwan, Taiwan is still have a very great impact on China, because many language companies actually sell their product in China, and the situation in China, as I've shown you, is terrible. They are number 62. Less than 1% of people are using English as a global language, and it creates a great problem for not only global economy but for the world, because the biggest company in the world has no access to our information.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let me take this. Let me read through it more, and then come back to you with some questions after I've read through it.
Okay, thank you very
Okay.
much. And I will send you this a link again, and
Yeah,
you
please,
will
if you
be
don't
able
mind.
to have this landing page. And you also can, scan it anyway and get a much better understanding.
Okay, I appreciate it. I look forward to it. I love learning languages, and I'm really interested to
Yeah,
see
and one
details of what you
one
got.
second here. 1 second, I want to show you something. If you go to here's the website, and if you go click here on more, you see here testimonials. And those are testimonials of, by the way, this one worked in China and used it. There's this
Mhm.
educator, mentor for teachers. There's this teacher from Poland. There's this from Great Britain. There's this from USA. Now, there is from China again, etc. And read their testimonials. That
Okay.
is of interesting because they understand it. They cannot implement it because every teacher is pretty weak. I am inventor and I cannot disrupt language industry. I invented the method, but I need help. I need
Yeah.
somebody like you who can do it.
Yeah. And that's what I help with is getting stuff to market. So, okay, let me go. I'll read through this and then let me come back to you after I've had a chance to absorb more of the materials. And
Thank
I
you
can
very much.
come up with some next steps for us to get into the market.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your time, Arcadia, and thanks for explaining things in such detail.